Right, this is a quick walk around video for a Honda Civic, and this is a 2.2 EX GT diesel. This car's covered 57,000 miles. You see here finished in this lovely rich metallic blue. I do have to park them in the shade on really bright sunny days because the shadows play havoc with the videos, so it actually looks slightly darker in the videos than it really does when you're stood. It's a glorious looking colour on the car. Coming to the front of the car, really clean and tidy, all the lights and lenses completely intact. Bumper corners, very clean indeed. And the bonnet itself has hardly a stone chip of any note on there. Again, really nice. And then to come to the near side of the vehicle, front bumper corner again, absolutely as clean as a whistle. I'll just get on that side there for you. It is absolutely mirror smooth in panel work. I saw one tiny little pin dent, but hardly anything. Front near side alloy, very clean and tidy. Really good tyres on this car. Got tons and tons of tread on them. The panel work's very good. There's the only minor blemishes of any note, which you'll pick up on any used car of any age, but hardly anything that merits a mention. Rear alloy completely unmarked. The rear bumper corner, very clean indeed. Going around the back of the car, you've got colour-coded parking sensors fitted to the car. Also got a parking camera, so really got no excuses to give it a good old biff, have you? And coming around to the near side of the offside of the vehicle, always get those wrong. And really clean in the panel work. It's a really good looking car, it really is. Fabulous looking vehicles. Rear alloy, again, absolutely unmarked. And the remainder of the panel work really is as clean as a whistle. Final alloy, again, absolutely beautiful. So looking at a car externally, which is in really very good condition for the age and mileage of the vehicle. So coming into the boot area, absolutely massive boot on the car. You can see there, parcel shelves all here and intact. All the fabrics and plastics in this car, it's been kept absolutely beautifully. It really has. In the boot here, you normally get a little hidden recess, but someone's paid the extra money to have a proper spare wheel on the car, or space saver admittedly, rather than the inflation kit which is normally found in these vehicles, so a bit of a bonus on this one. Let's come into the back of the car now. Rear door card, absolutely as new. Back of the front seats, really good. Can quite often take a bit of a kicking from kids' feet. The carpeted areas underneath, again, absolutely beautiful. This shows the seats in the upright position, which forms part of this ingenious sort of magic seat affair, as Honda like to call it. So you end up with this colossal extra stowage area if you so wish. Beautifully engineered. Just pull the lever up, drop them down. I'm trying to do this one hand with the camera, which is not always easy. You can see there, it's as easy as that, even with one hand, and trying to balance the camera. But the leather work in the back, again, absolutely fantastic. Coming to the front of the car now, driver's door card, again, looks absolutely as new. Footwell areas all really clean and tidy. And the driver's seat, again, in beautiful condition as with the rest of the car. And just to quickly come across to the passenger seat, again, absolutely pristine, really. Can't see any marks on there of any note. And then looking above our heads, we've got this lovely big panoramic glass roof, absolutely one-piece design in these later ones. Flick of a switch, on sort of cloudy days you might want to cover it over, but on days like today you want to see that lovely blue sky, which is such a rarity. So sat inside the car now, just to pan around the dashboard for you, but it looks, as with the rest of the car inside, pretty much as new. It's a fabulous order. Beautifully made car, beautifully finished off. As you can see there, sat nav working absolutely perfectly. If I pop the car into reverse, you see you've got a lovely clear gridded parking camera on the car as well, but all working exactly as it should. And down below there, got access to the dual zone climate control and heated seat switches as well. Going back across the car, gear lever looks and feels absolutely as new in hand, and even the centre consoles, all the little stowage areas, power points, just been kept really, really, really nicely. It's just a good sign of ownership, which is what I like to see on any used car. And then my favourite part, this 2-tier dashboard, absolutely fantastic. And if I could just hold the camera across, hopefully I won't snag the wire. Hopefully you'll see there, got 57,890 miles at the time of doing this video, and there's absolutely no warning lights on the dashboard at all, of course. But it is in fabulous, fabulous order. And obviously auto lights, auto wipers, you've got your multi-function steering wheel here, cruise control on the top right there, information and radio controls on the left hand side with your hands-free functions for your phone as well. It really is absolutely fantastic in here. Just to quickly show you, quite often overlooked, owner's manual pack, the original one with the owner's manual for the car and navigation system, plus very importantly the lock and wheel nut key is here and present with the car. So finally, just to come on the engine bay, absolutely beautifully presented by Honda, as they always tend to do. These do sound noisier on the videos than it does when you physically stood here. It's just the microphone, the way it picks it up, but really nicely done. Can change driven engines, so there's no cam belts on these cars to change, but fabulous, tough, very, very, very good engines these. What will follow this video will be a road test of this very car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for the Honda Civic, and it's a 2.2 EX GT. Car's registered YG62KSZ. Mileage at the start of the road test is 57,884 miles. The reason we do the road tests is so customers get to see our cars in operation prior to coming to see us. That way, if there are any issues on the vehicle, I can and I always do relay them back to you. It's not just a sort of box ticking exercise. I am critical, and I have been on many of my previous videos. Also, the road test is done on exactly the same road test route as any prospective buyer will go on, so hopefully it will be representative of what you would feel yourself if you came and saw and drove the vehicle if interested in buying it. So starting with the car, if you've read the advert, you'll know that the car's been absolutely fully serviced right from the start from the Honda dealers, and relatively recently as well. And it's absolutely obvious. It drives incredibly tight. Engine starts absolutely instantly. First push of the button settles to very smooth, very even idle. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car either. Temperature gauge, the engine's been running now for quite some time. It's just gone through the workshops to have its mechanical checks, and the temperature gauge is running at a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, whether petrol, diesel or otherwise. But it's a very, very sweet revving engine. It's a lovely unit. I mean, I've had both. I've had the 1.6 diesel and the 2.2s. My preference is still the 2.2. I think it's a slightly smoother engine operation than the 1.6. But what it has is kind of a lot of low down grunt. So, you know, with one person on board, 1.6 is fine. Fully laden with passengers and luggage, I prefer these. They've just got that little bit more instant grunt, which means you're not having to sort of work the gearbox quite so hard. But both are fine engines in all honesty, but this is just my preference for what it's worth. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the car, bite point is exactly where it should be. There's no squeaks or clicks from the clutch pedal. The actuation's absolutely silky smooth. You then go through to the Honda 6-speed gearbox, which is another absolutely wonderful gearbox from Honda. Even though there's cables running from the gear lever through to the gearbox at the front there, you'd never really know. It's got a very smooth, very positive actuation. It's got mechanical and a weighty feel to it, which I really, really like. But they're fabulous, fabulous gearboxes. They really are, and I cannot detect an ounce of wear in it. It feels absolutely as new to drive in pretty much every respect, in all honesty. But certainly the bits I've checked so far, engine, clutch, and gearbox, faultless, absolutely faultless. Steering on the car, tracks bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel. I'll check it at high speed on the main road in a second. But it's a very good power steering system on these cars. It's the new breed of electric power steering. which I'm going to be perfectly honest, rather, it's not what I particularly like in car. I prefer the hydraulic power steering on the cars. You get more genuine feel from them. But this is actually a very well done system. It's very, very accurate, and it has a weighting to it, which is quite nice. But it's, you know, there's no play, there's no wear that I can feel in the steering at all. It feels absolutely solid as a rock. Same goes with the suspension of the vehicle. What I'm looking out for on road test, especially on the road I'm going to go along in a minute, which is particularly potholed, is just signs of any kind of thumps or grumblings from underneath the car, which would suggest there's a bit of wear in kind of suspension joints or bushes or anything like that. So you'd normally get a kind of a resonating sort of clonk, whereas this you can hear it going over the bumps, which you're meant to be able to do, but what I'm not getting is those sort of metallic hard noises, which can be really irritating at best, and obviously need replacing at worst. It's also very, very comfortable in here. This is the next generation on of this type of car, whereas the earlier models would find it more difficult to ride over sort of potholed surfaces. They're quite sort of sharp in their response. This is very, very, very comfortable, very well damped, got amazing body control and agility to the corners. And this little section of road here is great fun in a sports car. In other cars where, you know, you've got a floppy chassis, not so much, but that is just brilliant how it goes through. It really is. It's, you know, very, very agile indeed. But when you slow down, lovely and serene and comfortable. Brakes on the car have a lovely solid brake pedal on it. I'm just going to give them a bit of a shove. Yeah, the nose goes down nice and straight and all as one, which suggests that everything's in fine fettle, but there's no kind of rumblings or grumblings on the brake pedal at all, which is really good news. I mean, they looked fantastic when it went through the workshop, so that comes as no surprise. Looking around inside the vehicle, in wonderful, wonderful condition in here. It's absolutely fantastic. They are beautifully, beautifully built cars, absolutely beautifully made, and this is real world build quality, not you know, when they're brand new and all cars feel nicely screwed together. This is after, you know, a few years motoring, a few miles on the clock, and they still feel like brand new inside. No squeaks, no rattles, no buzzers from the trim. It's all absolutely fantastic in here. They're also just brilliant places to sit and drive a car. You've got this sweeping dash, lovely high up sat-nav system working absolutely perfectly. And then my favourite part, as I always say, is this two-tier dashboard here. So you've got all the information up high, so you literally don't have to take your eyes off the road to take in some fairly basic information. Most notably, of course, your speed. So you can keep an eye on the road ahead whilst also keeping a check on the speed you're travelling at. And it's a stroke of genius. It works absolutely brilliantly. Honda should be applauded for it. They should also be booed massively for going back on themselves on the next generation Civic, which I think is a really retrograde step. And I love Honda, but I think they're fools for doing what they've done, but there we are, that's by the by. Down below that, we've got a more conventional binnacle here with 3 dials, big, easy to read, temperatures on the left, speedo in the middle, and fuel gauge on the right hand side. But all the gauges, all the switches working absolutely perfectly on the car. Obviously, on these EX-GTs, it's a big spec car. This is the top of the range vehicle. So you've got dual zone climate control, heated seats, you've got electric adjustment for lumbar, and these sort of seat wings can sort of squeeze in nice on the seats. But it's just a brilliantly comfortable place to sit and drive a car. Obviously, again, this is the only car in the range which benefits from having this huge glass panoramic roof, and it adds so much natural light into the car. It's lovely, especially on, you know, duller days, but even on really beautiful days like today, just the sun streaming in is really, really nice in the car. In essence, the video is here to show you the car in operation, as I said, but also to pick up on any issues there might be with the car. Given the fact that, you know, it's been that well maintained by Honda, I wasn't expecting anything, and I drove it previously, so I knew there was nothing to worry about. It drives absolutely perfectly. It really does. You know, not just for a used car, but judging by a new car as well, it's absolutely fantastic. However, if I've missed anything on the video, then don't hesitate, please do give me a call, and I'll obviously happily answer any questions you might have about this particular car.